Welcome back to my channel where a crazy HOA takes away your road without asking you and you fight back by keying every single one of their cars. Our next Reddit post is from a user. So, I live in a townhome community with a twist. The homes all face inwards towards a courtyard, and each home has its own private road that leads to the street. All of the roads within the community are maintained by the HOA. As you can imagine, they're all paved and well kept. The roads are roughly 20 feet wide and only meant for emergency access. They aren't really meant for driving on a regular basis. However, there are no posted restrictions on them. We use our roads mainly for snow and garbage day. For the past 3 years, we've had an issue with people parking on the roads within the community. There was usually 1 or 2 spots taken up, but it was never an issue because the residents who parked there were considerate and would move when asked. Well, this past summer, we had a new family move into the home at the end of my road and they have 2 cars. Well, the wife parks her car on the road in front of our house. She would come out, get in her car and leave, but not before turning off the engine and turning on the parking brake. No problem, right? Well, yes, actually. It's a problem if you have a handicapped sticker on your dash and your engine is running. It's a huge problem if you have a handicapped sticker on your dash and your engine is running and your car is parked in a fire lane. Yes, that's right. This road in front of our house is also a fire lane. The fire department has even put stickers on the road marking it as such. I tried being nice to the lady and explained to her that she isn't allowed to park there with the engine running because of her handicapped sticker. She argued that she didn't have to turn off her engine because she has a handicapped sticker. I explained that she still has to follow laws that able-bodied people do. She said that she'd rather pay the fine than walk into her house. So, I let it go. I figured she'll get a ticket eventually and hopefully learn her lesson. But after 3 weeks, nothing happened. The fire department hasn't been by, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. There is a rule in our HOA documents that states that if a vehicle remains parked in a spot for more than 48 hours, then the HOA has the right to have it towed at the owner's expense. And this rule applies to our private roads. I emailed the HOA board and copied the manager letting them know about the situation and asked them to take care of it. They did nothing. So I called the police and filed a complaint. The nice officer took my complaint and told me that he'd pass it along to code enforcement. Still nothing. My wife suggested that I check the other roads and see if there were any other violators. Sure enough, there were several cars parked on the road, some with engines running and some with parking brakes engaged. This was my chance. I went to the store and bought some paint markers and proceeded to write fire lane and towaway zone on the road in big letters. I even drew little fire and tow truck icons. I then wrote no parking in front of the offending cars. Then I waited. Within 36 hours. Every single car on every single road in our development was keyed. There were even a few shopping carts mixed in with the vandalism. Let this be a lesson to everyone. The HOA thinks they're so tough until you start messing with their property. At least I know that they're going to fix that road now. Our next Reddit post is from another user. I'm pretty sure this falls under malicious compliance. Backstory: I've lived in my house for 15 years. For the last 5 years, I've had to deal with the HOA. 3 months ago, they sent out a notice that I needed to repair my driveway because it was in violation of the covenants. The covenants state that all driveways must be paved. Mine is gravel. The problem is that the HOA hadn't enforced this rule in the 10 years prior. In fact, most of the driveways in our neighborhood are gravel, including that of the HOA president. I politely wrote back explaining that they should have brought this to my attention 10 years ago and that I wasn't going to do anything about it. They ignored this and sent me a letter stating that I had 30 days to get it fixed or they'd sue me. Well, today, I got a letter stating that I'm being sued. I found out today that they went ahead and paved the president's driveway. So I paid them back. I went ahead and sued them for every penny I had. I sued them for pain and suffering and emotional distress. And I hired a lawyer to make sure everything was done right. I also informed my insurance company. When they heard that I was being sued, they offered to pay the full amount. Since I sued the HOA, they don't want to be sued as well. Down in the comments, we had this story from another user. This reminds me of something similar that happened here in Austin, Texas. A woman wanted to expand her driveway to add a basketball court. The HOA said no because it would violate the CC&Rs. She took the matter to court, and the judge ruled in her favor. The HOA refused to pay the court-ordered fines and fees, so the city took all of the money from their bank account and left them with overdrafts. The whole board resigned in protest, and the development has been in chaos ever since. People are suing people, fighting in the streets, etc. Good times. And finally, our last story comes from another user. The HOA president parked her car in the wrong place and didn't put her hazard lights on, so I dinged her fender with my car while backing out of my driveway. Now she's trying to collect on my $100 deductible because she's got full coverage. The audacity. I didn't hit her hard enough to leave a dent, just a little scratch. But since she's got full coverage, she doesn't pay higher premiums, I'm sure. I refuse to pay the deductible, so now she's turned it over to collections. That was our /malicious compliance. And if you like this content, check out my page. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new videos every single day.